believe in a God per se anymore, but sometimes art reminds me why people do. When you look at a painting like this, it's easy to think it's just some random stuff thrown on the canvas. Like when I saw similar things, I always used to think that was what it was. People just kind of threw some stuff out there and it just happened to work. It's not like that at all. Every one of these paintings, though they look like random messes, all have very specific compositional rules. They all sort of live in their own metaverses. And they have their own sets of physics and their own laws. And I always start out thinking I know what the rules are. But as I paint, I invariably discover that I don't understand exactly how it works. The painting kind of reveals itself to me as I go along. I'll go to add a line or a triangle or a texture somewhere, and when I go to put the brush on the canvas, something stops me and it's just like, no, that isn't how the rules work in this world. Where do these rules come from? Logically, I understand that I must be making them up. I could not tell you what part of my brain does that. It feels to me like when I draw the outline of the painting, it's like I'm kind of giving birth to it, and once it exists, it's its own entity. You know, like it just something else takes over, and it has a life of its own. And every time I pick up the brush and I look at it, it kind of tells me what it needs. Does anybody know what I mean? Ever? I don't believe in a mystical force of the universe that's like outside of me, giving me directions to create the thing. You know what? I've been wrong about things before. Maybe there is. I was looking at my hard drive yesterday and I have something like 19 hours of footage of this painting. I've actually spent quite a long time on this. I was extremely stuck for a while on it, and I just kept walking by it and looking at it, and I didn't know what else to do. It was like it wasn't talking to me for a little while. And I did what I often do in that circumstance was I asked my kids to come in and look at it, and I asked them like just kind of what they thought and how it made them feel. It was before I had put all these like kind of neon pieces in. And my son said, you know, it's okay, it's cool, it's just like a little boring. It just needs more color. I was like, no, it doesn't work that way. This is a muted color palette. I can only use dark blues and grays. Like we can't just have these bright, crazy colors showing up here. That's chaos, that's a mess. It doesn't make any sense. But I was still stuck. And the more I looked at it, the more it was just like, you know what? I may as well give it a try. It's not going anywhere otherwise. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? And at first it was really scary and it felt awful. But then suddenly something happened where it all just kind of opened up. And I realized something, which is the same thing I always realize every time I'm stuck and suddenly everything just opens up. The problem is me. Now, if you've ever watched me before, I'm sure you're waiting for the part where this video turns into a Wish.com TED Talk. Here it is. I will simply refer you to the immortal wisdom of the most inspirational painter who has ever lived.
On this canvas, you're the creator. Anything that you want, you can build here. This is your world.
And so it is with all of life's creative endeavors. Whether we are trying to paint a painting, write a song, build a business, we are always getting in our own damn way with these stupid rules that we make up about how things have to be. Think about places where you are stuck in your own life. Where are you constraining yourself? Where are you holding back your full, truest expression? Because you have some idea in your head that was given to you at some point in your life about the way things have to be. Girl, this is your damn life. If you have made up rules and the rules are not working, It is on you to change that. Nobody else is coming to fix it. Like, that sounds really sad and scary when somebody says it to you, but when you finally have a moment in your life where you understand that nobody else is coming in to get you unstuck, no one's coming to fix your life, you're the one that's going to do it, it's actually pretty empowering. And if you are stuck in the middle of a creation, or the more common scenario is you want to create things, but you're stuck and cannot get started, I'm going to tell you a couple things that might help. It's okay if it isn't good. Not just like it's okay if it isn't perfect. It's okay if it's not like the best song ever written. It's okay if it isn't the best painting ever painted. Not just it's okay if it isn't the best. It's okay if it isn't good at all. There's two things you need to understand about this particular stuck point. A, the point of creating is never to impress or be validated by another person. And B, if you do not create anything, it will never get better. You will never build the skills for making like good paintings or writing songs people actually want to listen to if you don't get started, sweetheart. People make way too big a thing out of talent. We look at people who are great at doing something and we think they were born with these like mystical abilities. But not being great at something is a really shitty reason to not do it. Oh, too much blue. It doesn't work right there. I love the internet very much, and I really mean that. The internet is really the thing that allows people like me to have a voice in the world because it gives everyone access. But one of the things I think social media has taken away from us is just the ability to be average. Because we can see like these celebrities or incredibly talented people. We see these really exceptionally talented or just exceptionally successful people, and they have these IG profiles that look similar to our profiles, and everything is brought to us now in a way that is so relatable and feels so personal that we look at these people we have these parasocial relationships with, and it causes our brains to make a false comparison. Like, we think we should be more like them, and that's ridiculous. A very wise person once said, comparison is the thief of joy. Like, I feel so bad when I look out on social media and I see these aspiring rappers, these like aspiring musicians who are in their early 20s and they're thinking they need to be Post Malone. Bro, you can't be him. That identity is taken. And I would point out to you, if you're a fan of Post Malone, and I really am, his success came from his choice to simply be violently and unapologetically himself. You need to act like you, and your audience will find you. That's what people want in the world right now. People are seeking relatability. People are seeking realness. Like, I'm not telling you you're gonna have some great mega success just by being yourself, but I promise you, you will only ever have an extremely mediocre success at best by trying to be someone else. One of my favorite YouTubers, CoffeeZilla, is an investigative journalist. He does like a lot of exposing crypto scams. He's got about 3 million subscribers. He's very successful. He made a video once where he was talking about his own success, and he was talking about how he had like 500 subscribers for like 4 years or something. And that was really inspiring and relatable to me because I think I also had 500 subscribers for about 4 years. Thanks for being here and thanks for watching, by the way. But what he said about it was, if you really want to succeed, you really have to accept the fact that you are going to be very average for a long time. Girl, let me tell you something. I have something like 130 videos on this channel. Most of them are awful, but they're here because I'm continuing to do it. This is my thing. It's what I do. It's what makes me happy. Now I suddenly feel like that needs to be yellow. I think I need to go more back into the yellow. Like, I talk a lot about motivation on this channel. It took me so long to figure this out, that the reason to do this was just that I wanted to do it, and that is reason enough. I paint because I want to paint. I make videos because I have something to say, and that is sufficient. I have no specific talent for this. I used to think that made it a waste of time. By the way, this painting means a lot to me, and since you're still here, I'm gonna talk to you about it. This is the decompression and the resolution of the darkest, longest tunnel I've ever gone through in my life. In 2021, at like the height of COVID, I left my home in Las Vegas and moved all the way across the country very suddenly, and like with my 2 kids, and I was working full time, I was going to school full time, and there was a lot of trauma and fallout from like all the things I had left behind, and it was so much. And I had never had an experience that chaotic or heavy. I was hyper functioning for a very long period of time. It was like a heavy black curtain just fell on me all of a sudden. I suddenly realized, oh, I'm depressed. This is not good. But I was also being extremely mean and unfair to myself. I kind of got through it by just falling into these hyper focuses. For about 18 months, the only music I listened to was Bad Religion and Sam Smith. But it was actually strangely really perfect. Is that something really common? Have you ever done that? I know some people get sad after they break up with their boyfriend or something and they listen to the same sad record over and over again. I think that's a thing. But I was just thinking a lot about the nature of existence and how we need to come up with better, more evolved, more intelligent solutions to the problems we face in the world. But also like fun and sex, getting back to understanding and loving my own queerness. As awful as it was honestly kind of a great time. This painting is called In the City, which is the name of a Sam Smith song. And I was listening to it a lot while I was going through this period of just being so sad and feeling so disconnected from myself and my identity, and I was just dying to move to a city, to not live where I live, and just to kind of become someone else. Not even really be somebody else, but like be myself, but somehow be sucked into a different world, because I just could not conceive of how I was going to climb up the mountain of changing my own life. But I gotta tell you, there is hope, because in the last year, I have made tremendous improvements in my life. Like, I am so much happier and I am doing so much better now, and I have so many more of the things I wanted. Like, I have you guys on YouTube, I'm making more money, I'm able to create and paint and spend more time with my kids, and I have like a group of friends I can talk to. I've been moving up that mountain. I'm really doing things over here. So this painting is really just the sort of the decompression of all of that. I want to take that time in my life and just put it into something in the physical world so I remember it and I hold on to the good things about it, because I know that it's over now. I don't know if you can really tell, but this is like a cityscape. It's a beautiful, active, exciting city at night. That's what I'm painting. I don't know if you can see it. That's okay. I can. I had a very complicated relationship with this part right here for a long time. I like him a lot. He's really beautiful, but he's also a drama queen. He's kind of making this all about him. This is actually really heavily inspired by my favorite painting in the world, Starry Night. Can you see it?